Hello, this is Dylan Moore with CPSC 4550. This is part 2 of Lab 3. Now we're going to be using the Network Address Translator or NAT protocol. And we've got zip files that we got for this part of the lab, so I went ahead and pulled both of those up. And it says here for our open NAT home side file, which we have at NAT home side PCAP. That's our side file. Answer these questions, and it says, what is the IP address of the client? Oh, that didn't work. All right, so IP address of the client. We're going to do it HTTP. That didn't work either. Let's do TCP. Sign act request was sent here, so we've got our source, which is 192.168.1.100. That's our source. IP address for their client. If you go down there under Internet Protocol, you can see the source address listed there as well, and the destination. Number 2, the client actually communicates with several different Google servers in order to implement safe browsing. The main Google server that will serve up the main Google web page has IP address 64.233.169.104. And I tried to use this earlier, but it did not work. It would not bring, it pretty much showed nothing. And I entered it exactly, it allowed it in the green, and it just did not work. And this is saying to check out the get message sent at time 7.109267. So we can go over here under time. We'll look down at 7.109267. And there we are. There's our packet we're looking for. And it says, what are the source and destination IP addresses and TCP source and destination ports on the IP datagram carrying this HTTP GET? So, again, if we look at this message, we've got our source address 192.168.1.100. That's our client. That is our source address. And this is our destination address, which is 64.233.169.104, which we learned earlier is the Google web page. And so if we want to find our not just source address and destination address, we will go down here to Transmission Control Protocol, TCP, and it will show you source port is 4335 and destination port is 80. So there's our answers for those questions. And it says, at what time is the corresponding 200 OK HTTP message received from the Google server? So we've got our push acknowledgement there, which is the message that it sent. And if we go kind of in order here, looks like our first sign sent for this was sent there. But if we go to push-ack, it looks like the OK was received. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 7.140728, which is right after your push acknowledgement, and this is the acknowledgement for that, which is what we're looking for. It's supposed to be okay. So it's at 7.140728 seconds after the start of the trace. And if you want to look at the source IP address and destination IP address, we have them here. It looks like the source address is the Google address, and that's 64.233.169.104. Destination address is 192.168.1.100. And again, we can look down here for our source port, destination port. Source port's 80, destination port is 4335. So now we're going to move on to the next portion. It says, recall that before a GET command can be sent to an HTTP server, TCP must first set up connections using a three-way SYN-ACK handshake. At what time is the client to server TCP sign segment sent? That sets up the connection used by the GET sent at time 7.109267. And here's our 7.109267, and you see our push acknowledgement there. And if we want to go back, we're going to go back to our first sign that has to do with our client address and also our Google destination address. This is going to be requesting, this is where we're going to get our initial connection. And so it says, at what time is the client to server TCP SYN segment sent? It sets up connection, and that is up here 7.075657. That's the time that it's sent. And it says, what are the source and destination IP addresses and source and destination ports for that segment? We can look back down here. We got our source address 192.168.1.100. 64.233.169.104 is our destination address. Our source port is 4335. Our destination port is 80. So that is our source and destination IP addresses and ports. And it says, what are the source and destination IP addresses and source and destination ports of the ACK sent in response to the SYN? And at what time is the signed message sent? And we have that here. At 7.108986 is when it was sent. That's seconds after. And then our source destination IP addresses are going to be down here as well. Source IP address looks like the Google address is our source. Destination is us. And like I said, the time, we've already decided that. And then the port numbers are right down here again. Source port, destination port. So source, it's going to be the Google source. That's port 80. And the destination for our client is going to be 4335. Let's see. So now we're going to swap over to using the NAT ISP side trace file. So we're going to use both files essentially, so I'm going to go ahead and get both set. We're going to go TCP again up here for our filter. In the NAT ISP side trace file, find the GET message that was sent from the client to the Google server at time 7.109267. So what I did for this one to find it is I looked over here and I looked at source destination addresses, and they're going to be different. They're going to be, or at least one of them is going to be different in this. And so we're going to start here and we're going to start going down. And there we go. We found our Google. There we goes our Google IP address there. And this is also going to match up with over here because they're going to be at different times. That's the tricky part. You would think they'd be at the same times, but they're not at the same times. And when you look, the times are different, but the change in IP addresses matches up with it. And also the ACK sign and push acknowledgements, sign acknowledgements are going to be similar as well. So when we start here with our known Google IP address, this is our sign. This is where the request is opened, or this is where the request is sent to make a connection. So it says, the NAT ISP side file where this pops up at is going to be 6.035475. So these should be essentially the same besides a few things. And for the NAT side PAP, if you're looking at source and destination addresses, 71.192.34.104, that's the new IP address that we're getting on this NAT side of it. And the destination address, the same. It's the Google, 64233.169.104. And there are ports, same location as well. You can either find those up here, kind of displayed in this main header, or you can come open this header, drop it down, and you can see them right here. Source port 4335, destination port 80. And let's see. When we look at which of the following fields are the same, which are different than the answer to question 3, we're going to see that the Google IP address stays the same. The ports link up the same. But the one thing that's different is the source IP address. That will be different than the initial, or the client IP address. That'll be different than the initial client IP address that we had. And we're moving to number 7. Are there any fields in HTTP GET message changed? Which of the following fields in the datagram carrying HTTP GET are changed? Version, header, length, flags, checksum. If any of these fields have changed, give a reason in one sentence saying why the field needed to change. So now we're going to compare kind of both on this. And if we look under Internet Protocol, version is the same. Header length is the same. Differentiated services is the same. Total length, that's going to be different. And that's actually... we're going to be actually, it's a push act, so we're going to be that's actually where we're going to be. So we've got this. So version is the same, header length is the same, differentiated services field is the same, total length is the same. Identification, this is also the same. OXA2AC, yeah. Flags, the same. Fragment offset, the same. TTL is different by 1. So this went through one more thing. This packet went through one more place, and it changed by 1. Protocol TCP6, that's the same. Checksum is different because each checksum for every packet is going to be different. Source address, what we talked about, that is different. Changed from 192.168.1.100 to 71.192.34.104. Destination address is still going to be the same. And the NAT ISP side trace file, at what time is the first OK message received from the Google server? So if we're looking at the NAT ISP side, and let's see. What was the first 200 OK message received from the Google server? So when you receive one from the Google server, and this is where it's already focused in here. We got it blocked there for when these start interacting with each other. And the first OK sent from the Google server is going to be is going to be right here. So the time that it's sent is 6.067775 seconds after the start of the trace. The source and destination IP addresses. Source is the Google one. Destination is our new client one. The ports are going to be working out the the same. Of course, our source port's 80, destination port is 4335. And if we look at the differences in our answer to question 5, which I'm going to use my answers I came up with earlier, and it looks like the headers are going to change. The headers that always change in IP section of the datagram are identification, TTL, header checksum. Those are the ones that change in this one. Hold on, no, question 5 here. Sorry, I went too far. Yeah, that was not at all what I needed. It says that if we're looking at this, source IP address is different. Destination. Oh, well, this is not the same, so I'm going to have to pull up the other ones. I apologize. So, yeah, we're looking here. So yeah, source address is going to be different. Source address here is 64. Well, actually, source address here is 642.33.169.104. That's the same. Destination is going to be different. In our ISP side, we have 7119234.104. In our home side, it is 192.168.100. And those are the different there. Now, as far as the ports go, the ports are the same. So the ports have not changed. Only the source address, which is going to be, or the destination address, which is going to be our address. Answer 183 above. Fill in the NAT translation table. Entries for HTTP. Connection considered in questions 1 through 8. Okay. So I'm going to use this one here from when I did it earlier. All the information will be there. It'll be in my assignment that I'm turning in for this. In the NAT translation table, the internal IP address is 192.168.1.100. The internal port is 4335. External IP address is 71.192.34.104. That's the one it changes to when it goes through the NAT protocol. And then the external port is still the same, 80. And the port protocol is TCP. And that is my NAT translation table. Thank you.